All right, so let's settle into our meditation. Oh, sorry about that. Settle into our meditation posture. And if your feet are down on the ground, if you're sitting in a chair in front of a desk or something, you can put a cushion underneath your feet. Make sure they're in a parallel position. If you are sitting on the floor or on a couch, on a or on your bed or something, in a cross-legged, position, that's fine. If your hips are tight, you can put a cushion underneath each hip, underneath each knee, sorry. And make sure your sit bones are raised. It's most comfortable if they're slightly higher than your feet, or at least at the same level, but not lower, because then you start to slump. And you want your pelvis to be upright. So you can imagine it's a bowl full of water or liquid, and you don't want to spill that liquid. Your hands are in the meditation mudra. This is the right hand nestled in the left with the thumbs touching. And your shoulders are over your hips, as much as you can, to align your body. And the reason we do this is specifically so that all the energy all the airs, as they call them, is flowing through the body and through the central channel, and all the other side channels can flow as effectively as possible. So when we're slumped, you can't even get food down properly when you're slumped over and you're not sitting up straight. So let alone all the energy in the air. So if we keep ourselves in a nice, straight, stable position, it helps the mind and the body. So imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light, stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of your head. So really try and imagine that light in your body. And you can imagine somebody is behind you or above you, very gently lengthening your spine. So just feel all the busyness and the tension of the day just kind of dropping away. Imagine your head heading towards the ceiling. And now head is slightly tipped forward and the eyes are looking down and slightly in front of you, looking along the length of the nose and about a couple of inches ahead. Tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth, relax your jaw. And let's just bring our awareness to the crown of the head and relax the scalp and the forehead and the eyes. And if you wear glasses, you might have some tension in your eye. So just try and relax the back of the eye and the nose, the cheeks and the area around the mouth and your jaw. And now just bring your attention to the back of the head, the scalp, and relax the scalp and the occipital bone, just that area around there. And then notice when you do that, what other parts of your face sort of release. Your ears, your temples. And just when you think you've relaxed your face, it can relax even more. And the same for your neck. Relax your neck and your shoulders and the upper thoracic. See if you can feel your lower thoracic spine. And then your throat and your chest and your belly and your limbs. And then try not to hold too much tension in your hands and feet and fingers and toes. And then just bring the mind to the breath. And depending on the shape of your nose, as you're breathing in, you'll notice a sensation maybe at the tip, maybe at the base, maybe at the sides. And if you've done meditation with different types of teachers, Perhaps in the Pali tradition, they'll draw your attention to different parts depending on which country they came from or who's been their teacher. So it doesn't really matter for this particular meditation. Just notice the sensation of the air as it's flowing in. It's slightly cooler than when it's flowing out. It's a bit warmer after it's been inside the body. If there's any sounds in your environment, you can just allow those sounds to be there. Try not to run off and investigate. Perhaps it's the dog, perhaps it's a cat, children, the washing machine, anything we'll use as an excuse to be distracted. So just allow the sounds to be there, bring the mind back to the breath. And then just notice your thoughts. Maybe some things happen today that are still on your mind. So you can just allow those thoughts to bubble up, let them burst, let them dissipate. So try not to cling on or engage with your thoughts. You know, my mind is always running. We're not going to be able to stop it, but we can calm it down. And we can refrain from grasping and making up stories, clinging onto things. Just bring the mind back to the breath and bring to mind all the people of your life. And these are the people you love. The ones you don't love so much, perhaps they don't love you. We don't like to use that word enemy, it's quite strong, but it's kind of really, they're the sort of a non-friend. A non-friend that we don't really like. And then there's the strangers. They're also non-friends, but we don't think either way. We don't love them or hate them. We don't think anything. We're just indifferent. But these three different groups of people are all the same in their wish to be happy. Their wish to find happiness, constantly search for it, and never really truly get it. They wish to be free from suffering, constantly finding problems arising in their life. And they have this unbelievable potential. Everybody has this incredible potential, this purity, intelligence, wisdom, compassion and kindness. It's at the very core of our being. So this is what we're digging in to find as we do this Vajrasattva meditation, this purification meditation. We're getting rid of all the delusions and the imprints of the delusions so we can touch who we really are. So, think about today. The first of the four opponent powers is regret. So maybe something comes to mind that you regret. Regret is not guilt. It's a different thing altogether. Regret is more about taking responsibility. And the reason we regret is based on the logic of karma. And given that we experience everything to our past actions, we are therefore going to experience suffering if we harm others. So we know logically we need to purify or pull out these karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us, and think, I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, our delusions, our grasping, our attachment, our jealousy, bitterness and grudges. if it all leads to problems, and think I'm sick of suffering. This is the cause of why we harm others, all these delusions in our mind. And think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. And we turn to the Buddha, the doctor, who has these methods that we can use to purify. And we're not asking Buddha Vajrasattva to forgive us. We want to use his methods to heal ourselves. So we purify ourselves by relying upon these methods. So imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head, and you can also imagine, in order to make it a little bit more personal, this is your teacher, your Lama, your trusted mentor, manifesting in this aspect for your benefit. And he's made of this blissful, radiant, white light, emanating light. So imagine this Vajrasattva, the mind of your teacher above the crown of your head. He's sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon disk. He has this radiant, beautiful face and lotus-like eyes. And they're peaceful and full of love and compassion for us and for all the people of our life. He has a sweet red mouth, and his hair is black and held up in a top knot. And he's wearing the 5-pointed crown embedded with precious jewels, and he's wearing ornaments and earrings and bracelets and a little belt around his waist made of jewelry and armlets and anklets. And he's wearing these celestial robes, this kind of multicolored silks just floating in the wind in the Royal Indian style. So there he is above the crown of your head. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion, and their being crossed represents the union of those two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So another little section here is on compassion. So in order to develop compassion, this wish for others to be free from suffering, we need to rely upon other beings in order to be able to practice it. So think here, first of all, the beings that you have harmed, and just develop a sense inside you for them, a wish for them to be free from suffering. And then for the people that have harmed you, because of the harm that they've caused you, they are going to necessarily experience suffering in the future. So we feel compassion towards them because of that. And just think, I must purify for their sake. So here we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the actual medicine, this recitation of the mantra. So we start with the purification of the body, and Guru Vajrasattva, first of all, very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a waterfall or a hose, a powerful hose, or a shower head, a powerful shower. And it pours into you, arcs around and pours into you through the crown of your head and fills you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until eventually it forces out of all of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space. Not one atom left. And you feel completely purified as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Meboa, Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hom Pe, Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dira Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hom Pe, Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dira Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hom Pe, Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dira Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hom Pe, Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dira Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hom Pe, Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dira Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hom Pe, Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dira Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hom Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is completely purified. And think that there is no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And so the next is the purification of the speech. And Guru Vajrasattva very happily sends again powerful nectar from his heart, and it arcs around, it enters into you through your crown and hits your heart and gets to your heart chakra and then fills you completely, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, which overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. It's like you're being flushed clean. So imagine that all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and the lying, talking badly about others behind their backs, all this is purified by the powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dira Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hom Pe, Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dira Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hom Pe, Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dira Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hom Pe, Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dira Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hom Pe, Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dira Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anarakta meboa sawasiti mempe yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sattva aham pe om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita duda meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mempe yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sattva aham pe om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita duda meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mempe yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sattva aham pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and think that there's nothing that you could do other than be of benefit to others now with your speech. So when they hear your voice, calms their mind and benefits them. So next is a purification of the mind. So just imagine Guru Vajrasattva very compassionately sending powerful beams of laser light from his heart chakra. And it arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's just the same as when you walk into a room and you flick on a switch. That light instantly dispels the darkness in the room, doesn't it? So it's the same here. The minute the light from Guru Vajrasattva's heart touches your heart, enters you and touches your heart, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind is instantly dispelled. So all the depression and anger and anxiety and attachment, grasping and neediness and jealousy, grudges, bitterness is all dispelled, all these delusions, by the light as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mempe yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sattva aham pe om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mempe yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sattva aham pe om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mempe yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sattva aham pe om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mempe yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sattva aham pe om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mempe yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sattva aham pe om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mempe yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sattva aham pe om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mempe yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sattva aham pe. So again, just rejoice, be really delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are totally purified, gone. And think now there's no room in your heart for anything other than love and wisdom and compassion and bliss and kindness. So finally is the purification of imprints of negativity of the body, speech and mind. And you can imagine that Guru Vajrasattva sends light and nectar. You can also do the previous 3 visualizations for the body, speech and mind if you wish. A couple of mantras for each visualization. That's kind of busy, or you can just imagine light and nectar. And it pours into you, fills you completely, and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahom Pe. Now feel completely purified. Not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to omniscience have been removed. So next is the power of resolve. And this is a really crucial step in the purification process, is this wish, this aspiration to not harm. And so right now we can't say, well, I'm never going to lie again, or I'm never going to talk about Joe behind their back ever again. I'm never going to be divisive again. I'm never going to bite my fingernails again. But it sometimes becomes a little bit like a New Year's Eve resolution. It lasts about a day. So we have to give ourselves a timeline that's doable for us. Not something that we think that we should be doing, but something that will work for you, whether it's 5 seconds or 30 seconds or 10 seconds. But we just make a decision, just decide, okay, I'm going to work on this. I'm going to work on my speech. And just make a determination. It gives us the courage to change. And for those of you who've been doing this for a long time now, as I keep saying, just really rejoice in the progress that you are making and you have made. And you're probably noticing a difference in your life already and within yourself. And so look at how far you've come. Amazing. Just through humbly practicing, just doing it. Consistency. Amazing. So, rejoice. Congratulations. Pat yourself on the back. and maybe challenge yourself a little bit more with something slightly more difficult or a longer time period. So if you've been doing 5 seconds, maybe make it 30. Okay. So Guru Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. Think my Guru's body, speech and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech and mind, and my own body, speech and mind are the same thing. LAMA YESHE calls this union, oneness. And Rinpoche recommends to meditate on the emptiness of the 3 circles. In emptiness there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So place your mind in that emptiness for a little while. So in this way we can look at all phenomena as being empty. And they do not exist from their own side. Perhaps the way things appear to you are not necessarily the way they exist. Perhaps things that are a truth for you might not be necessarily a truth for someone else. So things are not fixed. Okay, so let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created by doing this purification to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So some long life prayers. The wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for Lama Zopa Rinpoche, you uphold the subduer's moral way, who serve as the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving, and spreading Manjunath's victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplishes magnificent prayers, honouring the 3 jewels, saviour of myself and others, your disciples. Please, please live long. For Lama and for Lama Ursel, Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us in intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request. O Lama, please, please live long. And for Geshe Sherab, beloved teacher, leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path, you are the unequaled guide. Please live a long and stable life. So there we go. Thank you very much, everyone. Lots of love.